YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Clipper the Clipper, and I'm back at it. And in this video topic discussion, we're going to be speaking about something that's a mystery. It's called a mirror. So, for starters, they say pictures trap the soul. Besides, in fertility clinics, women are allowed, to bring other people's pictures to start a baby. Kind of a mirror effect. Then you have the smarty parties who thinks there's 4, 5, and 6 moons and suns, when all reality it's just a reflection, like a mirror. You have another angle where you look at the construction of a mirror. And then our favorite is when you use a mirror for malice or malbenevolent or something like that, whatever they call it. If you look how a mirror is made, those elements that are in a mirror, that make a mirror, whether it's water or any type of, assimilation that they cover up because there's more than one way to make one, you start to see that whatever the elements we have and whatever the elements is used to make something, we share its body, we share its DNA, we share its essence. So for people that's out here, seeing 2 mirrors, 3 mirrors, reflections off water and stuff like that, it's basically transparency and light, and that's just how the world works. Shadows, lights, you got dark lights, and you got different color lights. Now, if you was growing up like me and had reptiles, you would know that that weather machine that looks like a UFO, the T, whatever, and it's black with the purple looking lights. You would know that that specific purple light is used at night. The UVs, or UVs is used for lizards and other type of reptiles because those reptiles they have to be in a certain type of temperature, you know, like 80 degrees at night, and maybe they can fry a little bit more in the daytime. However, when those weather machines is made and they use those same UV lights in the sky, they're basically manipulating and cutting weather. Now, when you do this, like having a shadow, or if you cough and you see your breath, your breath comes from a cough or a sneeze, especially if you're in shape. It's a molded model of air, like when you cough or something like that, and that was always in your body. Maybe it's a circle, maybe it comes out like your mouth. Don't you see the shape shifting? Okay. That's just something that we have to encounter in this simulation. If you people accept life as a simulation, that means the simulation was already created in a specific way. Certain religions, especially Islam, they said that your deen is written already. So basically, your life is gonna play out before you're born the way it has to play out. There's no alternating your life. Now, for all you people that like to give people mental health, and you like to sit up there and tell and say to people, well, maybe, if you would have did this would have happened, or this, that, and the third. And then there's some people that's just convinced that you just have a mouth and you're just the devil or a demonic entity to try to pursue this person and give them mental health by giving them grief, regret, and stuff like that. That's a mirror effect of negativity. Okay. Now, previous videos I talked about colonialism in the North. If you look in the history books, the colonialism in the North is swept under. You don't know about it. When you type in colonialism, they tell you about the other countries. But you know how we just came out of a pandemic and we had a certain period of time in which we were in an emergency? It was kind of the same thing up here from Massachusetts down to Pennsylvania, even up there in New Hampshire, not to say the even word too much. It was up there, and it was a whole bunch of stuff where women wanted their rights and they wanted to be treated fair and equal. But the violence and the brutality, basically causing a civil war, was swept and buried in the grave. So a lot of our kids don't try to mimic the behavior. Eventually, the government, society, the law gave women their way to calm them down. So you have to go find the colonialism that goes hand in hand with Wicca witchcraft. Now, in other countries and other places, women showed this type of rebellion. And one thing they did and one thing they showed in the woman world, right, besides using the kitchen knife to cook or using the mirror to polish up their face or do their hair, they used it in the form of storing inner feelings, inner degreed feelings. So, for instance, if there was this mad woman or this Amazonic woman out here causing havoc in the streets, you know, kind of like Kai Cenat's mom, and she does something over the edge, she would have a mirror and she would look herself in the mirror and basically big herself up with every demonic or evil or violent, you know, action that she did, and all the women mocked it. If you watched Candyman before, if you're familiar with the horror movie Candyman, you would see the actual Candyman guy. He wasn't a bad person. He was a good person. He was just a slave who was chosen by the slave master because she wanted his genetics, or she was attracted to him in some type of way. So when they beat the Candyman up and, you know, they doused him in honey and let the swarm of bees feast at him and then get an allergic reaction, before he died, what did the Candyman do? The Candyman took his degreed feeling, his actions, and everything his suffering, as, you know, his soul was degenerating and leaving the temple, he stored his essence into a mirror and cursed it. Okay? So me bringing that situation up with the Candyman is exactly what the women were doing in the American time of colonialism. Like I said, the brutal view and the brutal aspect of colonialism in the United States of America will not be revealed, okay, regularly, like a 9/11 situation or a COVID-19 situation. You understand that? It was very, very brutal. And I want to bring this up because all of you people think it's okay to mirror somebody or to be like somebody. Okay? You people want to be like somebody, but you don't want to inherit the actual physical and mental pain of what the person might be going through or has experienced in the past. So that creates a controversy, just like if you look in the sky and you see 3 suns or 3 moons, not knowing where the reflection comes from. So I'm bringing this up because we are in assimilation. Whether you accept religion or not, you have to understand what you're doing by being like somebody. Because in your religious text, somebody always wants to be like somebody. whether it was God trying to be like the devil before he was the devil, or whether it was the devil trying to be like God as he was made a devil, a dark God. Okay? You have to understand that the simulation is only but for so much. You cannot make something that doesn't belong in the simulation. It's impossible. Everything that happens in the simulation is supposed to happen. Now, these demonic, evil entity people who like to talk to other people and bring up regrets, regards, you should have did this at this time, you should have did that at that time. You just proved to me that www dot, like that, the translation from Hebrew is 666. You just proved to me that electricity, when it strikes you, you can die. We all know gods can strike you down. That a simulation, religion, God, and everything else is just exactly what it is. Like I said, go look up the old-fashioned way on how they made mirrors, not the new way. Okay? Not the new way. Mind you, you can mirror yourself in water. All animals that drink water, they see themselves in the reflection, especially if the water is clean. Some animals scare themselves in the wild when they see themselves for the first time in the water. They don't see themselves no other time, but just in the water. I'm bringing this up because it's more than one way to say something, or if there's an objective, there's more than one way to accomplish an objective. 7 to 8, 10 out of times. Especially if there's no guidelines, requirements, or rules. So while you sitting up here being giddy, and trying to, I guess, hold somebody else's pain by being like them in the wrong way or right way, corporeal, incorporeal, tangible, intangible, you honestly can see for yourself, without me clarifying anything, that you people are performing the same evil or demonic action in a different way. We'll take the number 7. Certain people make this a number 7. Certain people they start down and make the number 7. Or certain people just put a slash through the number 7. Scriptive number 7, right? You see how it's different ways to write the number 7? Okay. This mirror effect, and I talked about it before, of us being a planet, a shadow planet, to a super Earth, in which those beings are allowed to come over here, you now realize that we are under the scrutiny and there's nothing we can do because we are proving science on this planet. When I say we are proving science, is that we're just too predictable for our own good. We predict each other's behaviors. Kids can predict their parents' reaction. Everything is predictable. That is a mirror effect. When you're about to go look in the mirror, you already know. You're going to see yourself. You're going to see whatever is in the background. You already know. When you see into the future, the proper word of foreseeing the future is not just being a sidekick or nothing like that. It's called the omen. Okay? A omen. If you've seen the movie Omen, where they had the little white kid who was possessed named Damien, and supposedly Damien is the son of the devil, in which the devil made it with a jackal. If you don't know what a jackal is like a dog. It's like a wolf. It's like a K9. It's a hound. But then there's another definition of a jackal, and a jackal is an evil clown, a jester, a fool. Yeah, an evil clown, a bad clown. Bad, evil, and I quote. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the original purpose of an evil clown was to kill aliens. I don't know if you know that. I think you people just look at evil clowns and think that they just here to pop the balloons, spit in your cake, and kill your kids at the party. But an evil clown was made to go hunt an alien from outer space. Okay? So, that's my point. Everything mirrors each other. And I bring that up because, say for instance, you bump your head when you're walking through a doorway, and you probably trip, twist your ankle, and bruise yourself, or you and your cousin was playing, and y'all was wrestling, and you want to go check your injury out. You could basically predict what you're about to see before you see it. So you're basically seeing the future. You just don't know how bad or how the bump looks until you see it, right? Correct. Okay. So in a simulation, you can only do but so much thanks to an omen. That's all a mirror effect. It's a mirror of negativity. I just told you before, degeneration. The earth is degeneration. You people are fooled by birth and growth, and you're fooled by other quote unquote positive stuff, not understanding that degeneration has to create that before it takes it away. You understand that? You understand when I say degeneration? It's a form of creation, so it can work in the negative. Okay, that's a mirror effect. Positive and negative. Mirror effect. You can use a mirror to help fix something, but you can also shatter the mirror and disfigure something. Okay? A lot of you people don't understand where you're at. A lot of you people just eat your Cheerios with a mouthful of Cheerios and shake your head and just keep going about your day and missing out on the complete concept of everything. Right? I have to bring you guys to reality that certain people step in the mirror and they don't like what they see. Certain people do step in the mirror and is very impressed with what they see. Now, this is the decisive factor. Is when somebody steps in the mirror and the next person gets to decide if that person is going to like what they see or dislike what they see. All right? Simulation. Candyman. Do you see the correlation? You say his name 5 times in the mirror, in the dark. And now you see this being from the incorporeal rising from the dead. Okay? To come to corporeal and punish you for the disruptance. That's how planet Earth is. Now listen, me personally, I don't think there's a such thing as the Anunnaki. I'm just going to be honest and real with you. I don't believe in the Anunnaki whatsoever. I honestly don't believe in the Trinity either. I honestly think that the sun is prophecy, the dark entity is the moon, and the whole universe, including the earth, without those two entities in it, is your quote unquote creator or God. Remember that you owe everyone. We all started from what? An egg and a sperm cell, correct? So if you see a quote unquote jellyfish UFO, or you see some type of cloud that came from a tornado and dropped a whole bunch of fish onto land because the tornado went over the water and collected a whole bunch of life, you start to see where I'm coming from with generation and degeneration. We don't know everything. These things, orbs or whatever, that can be a sperm cell and an egg put together. Right temperature, right time. Here comes an abundance of species. Insects, fish, birds, other type of animals. Besides the human beings or the human aliens that's here trying to make this world of degeneration keep going. Now listen, one thing about a nuclear bomb people fail to realize is when it drops, an atomic bomb, when it drops, it's not the explosion, it's the chemicals. The chemicals kill us, not the blast, it's the chemicals. But other things that these chemicals do is they make you see mirages, hallucinations. Is it really? Or is it we're tapping into the other realm, into the other side? You understand that? Like I said, corporeal is flesh. Incorporeal is the soul, the ghostly intangible. So if we do see some out of the ordinary and it looks like a jellyfish or maybe an alien sitting on the seat, and then lo and behold, when it lands or if it disintegrates, a new species or a new insect or something emerges, I don't see why people will bug out. If you started from an egg and a sperm cell inside of a body, and then all of a sudden you have a 6 foot, 7 foot, 400 pound human years later. If you are sitting up here still in awe, still confused about things like that, then maybe you weren't supposed to be born. If you can't accept what you see, just like in regular society, if you see somebody that's not a part of your community, and maybe they have something that you wish you had, and you want to be like them and mirror them, and it's just not working out for you, and you can't accept it, maybe you lived your life the way you were supposed to live your life, and now it just has to expire. Okay? I'm just saying, it's so much to do here. So much. But one thing is for sure that you shouldn't be doing is you shouldn't be paying attention to the next person. Okay? You're going to be stuck in the gray. Like I said, you may not believe the religious text. You may not believe what you're told. But there is punishment, and it's death. Whether death is hurtful or whether death feels good when it hits, you still don't have those opportunities that you had when you were alive. And another thing, as you're deteriorating, right, all of the things that you used to do that you took for granted can now inflict pain on you. Because when the body is decomposing and the brain is shutting down, for people that don't understand, you feel it. Okay? You feel it. You don't need no oxygen going to the brain, blood flow, or nothing going to the heart to feel yourself dying. to feel yourself suffocating? You don't. Just saying. Now, everybody's infatuated with petrified salt state. A lot of us never seen something take in petrified salt state. A lot of people don't understand why petrified salt states happen. Okay? Like I said, maybe you should have went to school because it's documented. It's a whole bunch of trial and error. You smash the wrong UFO, it might try to smash you back. Right? Maybe when we're asleep, well, I actually know it for a fact. In the jungle, in those other lands, those orbs come. They don't have to be huge and gigantic. They could come this big as a fly. And they basically could just zap an animal that's a coward who's not eating right, not living the animalistic way, basically petrified because it is probably stuck in between of a human life and animal life. There's two words for it. There's other words, I'll tell you later. But those realms I'm talking about, that's exactly what it is. Okay? And humans can be put in petrified salt state. It's just that we don't sit there and be frozen like stone. Okay? Something eventually gets rid of us. Now, all of this is documented. You know what else is documented? The crash of Antarctica. Antarctica was originally supposed to be a minor planet. They'll teach you it if you find out. They teach you gravity. They teach you all of this firmament stuff is fake. They teach you that the world is spinning and rotating too fast for you to understand it. So the story is that Antarctica was a planet, a cold planet outside of Earth. And I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Bermuda Triangle, wormholes, and all types of, underground volcano type stuff. That's what a volcano is. And planet Earth and Antarctica crashed together and they're stuck together like this. Through the nature of evolution, we was able to adapt, and it was a complete perfect mess up. Okay? Understand, it could be a complete perfect mess up. A woman, she had intercourse with a man, cheated on her man, right? Her man shot her in his stomach. And instead of her dying, she got pregnant. A perfect mess up. These are the miracles that happen. These are the mirror effects of miracles that's just flying around invisibly in the air. Now, what you fail to realize is it's the chemicals. Where do we get these deadly chemicals from? They're already in the earth. They're already underground. They're already in a volcano. That's why you see UFOs coming from different places. If it's not from out the sky, they're coming from underground or underwater. Why is that? It's something called value. Now, I know you guys remember your science, your chemistry, your biology, certain words, right? Whether it's vibration, value, how much liquidation and oxidation and plasma is stored in a certain place of the earth, in the rotation, speed, and the weather, can make it fly due to gravity, and what else? Volume and electricity. I know you guys probably don't remember. You probably fell asleep. But when they were showing you these shapes, these cubes and stuff like that, and spheres, certain teachers got certain people's attention while certain people fell asleep. Now, these shapes look like the UFOs when we were younger we always wanted to see. And if you look deep into the lesson, they're basically telling you These are the God creations that are perfectly mechanic together, and they have a job. The job is a magnet. So if I have something on the other side of the world that's full of plasma, valium, and a whole bunch of ingredients, and there's a magnet pulling, because opposites attract, pulling this specific shape, sphere, or whatever to a depleted side of the earth to hydrate it and replenish it, I think you understand where this is going. This is a mirror effect. You stand in front of a mirror and you breathe in front of a mirror. You can fog the mirror. Fog is weather. Okay? Fog is blinding. Okay? And fog in the inside of the body, well, a human body that is like gas. It can cause problems. You fart, you pass gas, you burp, your nose can start running, your eyes can get hot, and your circulation can start swelling bags in you, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just like that. Mirror effect. Okay. Just need for people to understand that. If you don't understand it, I understand it, and that's all that matters. You know, I'm your undertaker. I'm going to take you under. Okay? Every single time. Moral of the story, the dumbest thing in the world that you people could do is try to mirror each other. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Okay? I brought it up before. I said you have a game like Call of Duty where it's an army game and you're supposed to move strategically like the army, military period, to have success. And then the other side of the fence is Overwatch 2, where you have players that's like mutants and superhuman people with separate abilities who need to shine on their own. So let's just say, for instance, if the United States government, we get into a war with somebody and, you know, they send a super soldier and your weapons could do nothing to them. You ever heard the real story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? It's so scary. I'm not sure which government it was. I think Russia had parts of it because, you know, Russia is way more advanced than us. They took amphibians, they crossed them with people, making a super soldier, an amphibian super soldier. And, you know, they made them work out. They taught them certain stuff. Yeah, they did genetic engineering, genetic stem cell with amphibians and humans. Not a dog man or a Sasquatch, because we already know that's possible, or a cat man. We know that's possible. Okay? Certain blood types, you have the physical features of certain animals. We know that. But what these geniuses did is they took the amphibian. Now the amphibian, if people don't know, amphibians are they're so dope. That's a special creature right there. I had a frog, right? I got the frog from Disney World. We got on the train. I named him Orlando. My frog was my best, basically, tank cage pet. And I had an anaconda before. Me and my friends stole an anaconda from the Westchester County Center when they had the reptile expo. We stole the anaconda. I had all types of pythons, iguanas, lacretas, geckos. My golden gecko, it used to go on top of my tank, and it used to hang upside down like a vampire bat. At night, I had the same purple light I was telling you about, like they use for the weather manipulator. My father in White Plains, he liked the lizards that I used to get, and my gecko used to stand upside down all night And I'm talking about the blood is rushing to his head. It was a golden gecko. I had a golden gecko. I love my golden gecko. Upside down. Yeah, like a vampire bat. Not crossed like this. He's basically doing upside down crunches. Not crunch. Yeah, crunches in what is it? Leg lifts, squats. There you go. Doing squats. 12 o'clock at night. Rattling the top of the tank. It was awesome. It was dope. But my frog was a savage. My frog was a beast. I love my frog. Amphibians, period. A salamander is an amphibian. You cut the salamander's tail off, just like a reptile, it'll grow back. However, the reptile's tail, it'll take a long time to grow back, and it still doesn't grow back in its entirety. But a salamander or any type of, amphibian, the limb is going to come back quicker, and it could come back, fully in shape. But these people took amphibian DNA, despite them telling you that they can't do this, they can. And made a super soldier and breeded it with human beings. That's real. I'm being dead serious. It's a whole bunch of stuff that didn't happen. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's underground. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that's frozen in Antarctica that is just waiting to revive. Walt Disney is frozen. Okay? Walt Disney. He didn't have a burial. He didn't have none of that. Like Tupac. Like Michael Jackson. Probably faked his death. Okay? But Walt Disney is frozen. Walt Disney is, yes. They can resuscitate him and bring him back alive. Okay? It's stuff like that happens. You see the dire wolf. Now they're about to bring back the saber-toothed tiger. What if they bring back the saber-toothed tiger? You see what I'm saying? There's nothing can really die here because it's degeneration. You have to look at a flower. You have to look at plants and trees. They die and come back. But then you have to look at a bear. A bear hibernates for a long period of time, and then he comes out of hibernation. You see how it's like a prolonged death? You see how they tried to make descriptive detail on telling you a different side of Jesus Christ, on how he was quote-unquote resurrected. And if you look deep, just like if you look deep into biology and every other type of science that's trying to explain the other side, the other dimension, the incorporeal dimension that we originally come from, which is our soul, breath, air, that's incorporeal. You see that that's a part of degeneration, that it has to be reborn, to be born, to die again, no matter how the physical flesh looks. So, my point is, why mirror somebody else and drag yourself down and mess up what you could potentially have, right? I'm just saying. Or is it supposed to be that way? And is you mirroring somebody, bringing yourself down, that's how you're supposed to feel. So now you look at me a little different, and you look at my life a little different. Me personally, yeah, me. You start to look at me different. Don't live your life for you, but for some reason, you had this uncontrollable feeling of trying to be like me. So is that your written deed? Was your life really worth anything? Despite, the women or the racism or the racist women that like the trolling, that like when, certain things happen to certain looking people. Despite that happening, are you really having a good time? Or are you about to be punished like no other? Not just a punch in the face, going bankrupt, your house catching fire, you're losing your best friend. I'm talking about physical ailment. As you hold your breath towards somebody's fire or somebody's water, are you depleting yourself? And is that why you are what you are? Is that why you're alive? I'll be the first one to tell you, yeah. If you're living your life thinking about somebody else, you were meant to be punished the way you about to be punished. Okay? I'm the prime example. I didn't see a 1,000,000,001 people. I'm still searching for people with chakras. Okay? I done been around the world and and I ain't find none of y'all yet. Okay? So understand that. Before you people look at me, right, and you try to belittle me, maybe because my father is illiterate and his subconscious and conscious is impaired due to him having a heart murmur, and he is not consciously or smart enough to keep up with the next person because my father is half giant also. Before you try to laugh at my big man, understand my big man's essence is going to be the reason why you drown. Let's just face it. We from here. No matter how we know or if we know how we was created, we from here. Regardless. See where this is going? So before you think I don't matter, before you try to put mental health on my family so you think you can have kids that look like us, right? Before you do that, before you try to belittle me, and before your bitches, try to make us feel some type of way, understand that we already know that we are burying you already. Jananza. Yeah. So if I got the will to hold out on anything, not to obey the community, not to obey the society, understand that's to my enjoyment. I'm not about to sit up here on the internet for 30 days and film with no sleep and drink energy drinks to stay up to entertain you bastards. That did never happen. I don't even have it in me to want to. There's not enough money that's going to make me not want to go to sleep, okay, on time when my body is shutting down. Like I said, I'm as rigorous as it comes. There's pro athletes right now that's in the league that I'm stronger than. Okay? Know that. It's a bunch of them that I know that I'm stronger than them. And they're just playing professional ball. Okay? So if I can look at an athlete that's making millions and millions of dollars, and I know that I'm physically more talented and gifted than this person, and the only thing that I don't have is the spotlight and the money, but when I look in the mirror, or if I look myself on camera, and I can see the color of the root that you people don't have, remember that my Muslim name is Zazad. That's Chief Success Victory. Okay? That's my name. Chief Success Victory. Rooted. So before you try to mirror me or be like me, blood, make sure you root it to this earth and this whole connection the way I am. Okay? Like I said, don't annoy me. Nobody should annoy me. My parents learned their lesson. So if my parents learned their lesson to annoy me, then you need to be like that if you're going to be like anything else. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. It's something I don't care about, right? I don't care about the trophies and the plaques. I have a very huge hunger. Like I told you, I can gain 40 pounds. 40. Not 4. 40. I can hydrate 40 pounds. I have a extreme thirst and extreme hunger. And I know where it comes from. It comes from me passing to the other side and coming back. Okay. But you see how disciplined I am. You people, you don't hold that discipline. You don't honor a discipline. It's all about you. All about you. All about you. And all about you. Get where this is going, y'all? You're done. It's finished. I got your attention. Look how many people watch my videos without tapping into my videos. Look how stupid people feel that I know exactly what the intangible and the incorporeal is feeding from you. And I got your attention. How little old me, with no following like that, how do I get viewed so much? It was meant to be. If you can't accept that angle, you know, I guess we just gonna come back, live the same life, right? And at the end, you're gonna realize it, that you're about to play it again in this simulation, because God, Allah, however you want to acknowledge your creator, will make you see it. There's a blanket over the eyes. How ain't it? Rub your eyes and see spots. Okay?